Hey guys, welcome back to Dark Souls. I am so unbelievably excited to play through Anor Londo today. Anor Londo is, to many players on their first playthrough, what they think to be possibly the end of this game. We've discovered our fate, we're going forward, and we're going to figure out what we must do, how we're going to overtake Gwyn, and save the world. Getting to Anor Londo through Sense Fortress and not placing a bonfire immediately here causes the player to feel a couple of different ways once they arrive here. First of all, it is meant to invoke a sense of awe when you see that giant cathedral towering over all the other structures in this place. And when you see the sun radiantly shining down upon that back of the cathedral. You can tell that that sun looks like it's off in the distance, about to set, and the age of fire is waning. As we walk down the staircase, we don't really know what lies ahead of us, but we can see, if we're careful. Down there we see what looks like some sort of structure with a wheel in the middle that leads to the chapel, the cathedral. This is the brightest and happiest looking place that we first get to. And you might be remiss to think that there are no enemies, because once you come down here, you see this giant. It's important in the lore to mention that the gods of Dark Souls, those who live in Anor Londo and are worshipped in the cathedral, are not humans. No. They're more like giants. In fact, it was the giants who found the souls of the lords within the First Flame. There were no humans. Humans became descendant of the furtive pygmy. So if you look at this giant, you might be first intimidated, because this is the largest opponent you've probably fought in this game so far as a standard enemy. He could be big enough to be a boss. He's as big as a Taurus demon. And the developers are very careful to place him in such a way so that you can walk very close to him without actually triggering an attack from him. Down there we can see some rafters. And over there in the distance we can see the skybox that has been set. All these buildings and towns that we probably won't be able to go to, because you can tell the difference between them and everything else. Especially in the fact that they don't seem to rotate as nicely as these do, these real models. Anyways, behind this guy we can see that there appears to be some sort of tower. It looks like it leads all the way down, with a gargoyle down there. That's right, a gargoyle. One of those guys was a boss in the undead parish, and now we're probably gonna have to fight another one again. But enough gawking. Let's go ahead and try to fight this giant. So you have to get really close for the giant to attack. And you'll notice that because of his size, his moveset is made to be very slow. They want to telegraph the attacks to you because they don't want you to get hit by them. Right? Right there, see, I got hit by that shield because I was careless. I wanted to go in and kill this guy quickly, and I wasn't thinking about how to manage my health and deal damage effectively. So one of these guys is really not that hard, you know. We've fought the Iron Golem at this point. We know how to read telegraphed attacks. Let's go ahead and walk into here. It's a bit darker. You'll notice that there's almost a bluish tint here, or a greenish tint, which comes from our lighting. Look over here, there is a large statue and two giants there, and another statue with giants here. This statue, it looks like they're protecting the statue. I'm going to go ahead and challenge these guys. These ones aggro at a much further range, and they walk side by side like this to make it hard to hit both of them. So you see right there that these guys alone are not difficult, but together they can become really hard to deal with because you have to dodge both of their attacks. So now you're not having to just watch the telegraph of one attack, you're having to watch a telegraph of 2 attacks. And you can see right there that I hit the shield and it did absolutely no damage. This is the first of many opponent types that will be almost immune to certain types of damage from certain portions, right? A lot like the boar. I'm going to go ahead and take this guy down. And I'm going to go ahead and unlock real quick because it's a bit easier to fight these guys unlocked. Oh, what? You can see that you have to be very careful with that swing. It has a very wide reach. It's almost like the Titanite Demon. Already look at that. We've just encountered these enemies and already down to 2 flasks. This game tries its hardest to make you panic, right? You come here, you think you understand it all by killing this guy, and then you come in here, you fight these guys, and you take a lot of damage. You're rewarded for your efforts with this chest here. The chain faces away, everything is good, and you get some Demon Titanite. This statue shows some sort of knight-like figure with a large lance and flowing hair. Why don't we just take a second to peer at this? You might be thinking that this might be another one of those gods. You might also think once you get to Anor Londo from a gameplay perspective, or maybe not a gameplay perspective, but a immersion perspective, that when you come into here, there'll be a lot of people walking around. There'll be gods and friendly NPCs, because this is supposed to be a magnificent city. And the scale is so huge. I mean, look at this plaza, the run from here to over there. But the only thing we're greeted by are more enemies. There's never a friendly place that we could use to seek some respite. Just more enemies. So from here, we have 3 choices. We could go here, go down there, or we could go down there. I'm going to go ahead and check this path out first. There's a couple of reasons why I made that judgment. When you walk over to here, you see those 2 enemies right there. You know what you have in store, and you see another statue that they're guarding. Over here is a large tower, but it doesn't seem like it goes anywhere. And over here, there's this path that looks like it goes down. And as soon as you come over this platform here, as soon as you crest this hill, you see the bonfire. Immediately, the hope is rekindled inside of you. And there's an NPC here.
Well, you are a rare visitor. Welcome to the lost city of Anor Londo, chosen undead. If you seek Lord Gwyn's old keep, exit here and head straight yonder. If you are the chosen one, a revelation shall visit thee. What follows thereafter depends upon you.
So we meet this NPC who is called the Dark Moon Nidus. Won't go too much into that yet, but she tells us that if we're here to seek, if we're here seeking Lord Gwyn, Gwyn, we have to go out and head yonder, which means straight. And you might be surprised because you saw that tower, but it looks like, it just leads off to a dropping point. She also is capable of reinforcing our Estus Flask, which is something that not many people can do. Only the Firekeeper can do that. She's right by this bonfire, so maybe reaching that conclusion, or using that evidence to reach a conclusion, we can assume that she's a bonfire. She's a bonfire. She's a Firekeeper. Let's go ahead and reinforce our Estus Flask. I think the heat might be getting to me. It is so hot in my room, and I have the AC off because I don't want it to ruin the audio. Let's see if she has anything else to say.
What is it? What am I? Well, I am the keeper of the bonfire. If not for me, what beacon would there be in this lost city? A gatekeeper and a guide. That is my calling.
She's a gatekeeper and a guide. It seems that even Anor Londo has been turned into a test for the chosen undead, right? We get here, we're expecting this holy city of the gods. We're expecting to be greeted with arms open, and instead we're pitted against another task. We have to fight our way through this. We have to earn the right to seek Lord Gwyn, even though we have passed the challenges before us.
The bonfires attended by the keepers are special. They are linked to one another, and their flames never die. Yet never shall the keepers of these flames meet.
That's important there. So not every bonfire we've encountered has had a firekeeper guarding it, right? Or kindling the flame. We know that firekeepers are draw for infinite humanity, and it seems like they can connect to one another. There's some sort of link between them. But, like she says, they have to stay by their own bonfires. They really can't move, so they're never going to meet any other firekeepers.
If you require rest, now is the time. That is, after all, what the bonfire is for.
That's a nice quote.
If you require rest,
So why don't we go ahead, sit down, and level up? Oh, we are so close. I forgot that was only 200. I'm sure we'll get the rest of the souls along the way. I want to look at this item description here. The Black Eye Orb. Invade world of murderer firekeeper. Invader of the world of a murderer of a firekeeper to defeat the perpetrator and reclaim the soul of the firekeeper. The Black Eye keeps constant watch on the city of gods, Anor Londo. That doesn't seem like it's in there for no reason. It seems like it's important, might come in or might come up while we're here. Before we head yonder over there, why don't we just check out what lies here? It looks like there are 2 chests here. We might be expecting traps, so we'll be panning our cameras around, but this is a fairly straightforward fight. We've seen what 2 of these guys can do. What can we do against them now? Now that we've learned how to fight them, they're guarding the treasure and we want it. Also, let's take a look at the statue before we push up. There's a large fat figure holding a huge hammer. These guys are positioned directly across from one another, and these statues are guarded by knights who... These giant knights won't do much to us unless we get very close. We're actually able to pull one at a time here. You can see that when I roll behind this guy, the shield attack still hits me. That's because if you watch closely when he does the shield attack, the ground shakes a bit and there's an AoE. So the best way to dodge the shield attack is to back up. But you can see this Y-hander, if we keep the focus up on them, if we keep attacking, can stagger them relatively easy and take them down in 2 hits. So we got some Demon Titanite on the other side. Let's see what we get over here. We get some Twinkling Titanite, which we usually get from killing those crystal lizards. And if we look over here, this chest, the chain is facing towards us. So we know what to do with that. Luckily, we were able to kill that mimic right before it did its grabbing attack. Otherwise, we might have died. In here, we get the Crystal Halberd. So, like we've talked about slightly before, crystal weapons cannot be repaired, but they do excellent damage. You'll also be seeing a fair number of these large walls here. And when you look up, you can see that there's these reliefs sticking out of them that sort of frame them like a door. So you might be inclined to walk up to a lot of these and hit them. You're probably not going to see a lot of fruit for your efforts for a while, but if you keep at it, you will find some secrets, I'm sure. So why don't we go ahead and hit some walls and see if we can find anything. Doesn't seem like we found anything here. Over here we have another symmetrical layout, and this guy seems to be guarding the way up and out of this place. Why don't we go ahead and try to hit him. That doesn't work out so well for us because of his big shield. But we make short work of him, and if we look at our flasks, we have 10. So it appears that when a firekeeper is by a bonfire, we start with 10 flasks instead of 5, which is fantastic. And if we look over to here, there is this large door with this bright orange wall. Sealed by the Great Lord's power. We can't go in there yet. The pathway is blocked. We can't head this way. This was not yonder. This must not be yonder. So, where does this lead to? Looks like there's a large forested area. Maybe if we back up we can see, and look at that. There is a large tower up there. I'm sure that path leads up there. So if this was not yonder, then yonder must be this way. I'm gonna go ahead and chug an Estus flask. And over here there is a small platform. And as we approach and step onto it for the first time, because we are the chosen undead, it takes us downwards. We can see the beautiful architecture of the inside of this elevator. And we arrive on a raised platform. You probably have noticed that the enemy density of Anor Londo is quite sparse. I believe this was done for a reason. It plays into the idea of giving players quiet time. So you don't want to constantly be attacking players. You want to give them some time to accommodate the new information that they've gained, to ponder and reflect inwards, right? And so the best way to do that is to just give them areas where there's no music, there's silence, and they can just think to themselves while they walk or do some sort of really easy menial task. In front of us is this gargoyle. We're going to try to cut off his tail as a sign of friendship. Look at how much damage we do. Look, we got the gargoyle's tail axe. Uh-oh. See who will hit him first. Okay, gargoyle. Let's go. Oh! Yeah, maybe that wasn't the best idea to charge into his overhead, but he goes down, and we get his helmet. So I think we already have a gargoyle's tail axe, so I'm just going to scroll down. Yeah, we have one. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the helmet, though? Gargoyle helm. Helm of the Gargoyle, an enchanted creature that guarded the Bell of Awakening in the belfry of the undead church. This bronze helm was for mere appearance's sake, as gargoyle skin is naturally hard. Little in the way of defense can be expected from it. So we come down here, right? We've killed that gargoyle, and we see that there's a staircase that looks like it leads back up. There's also a pathway or a little ledge we can drop to here. And if we try just going down this path, we can't go forward. There's some sort of structure with a spiral staircase, but it just drops to a dead end. From here, though, if we look around, we could try exploring those ledges and that staircase back up and see where it leads us. Looks like we could also drop onto these rafters, or at least this ledge right here, and try to climb those rafters. So dropping over to here takes us over to that staircase, through this little tunnel that goes underneath, and back over here is a chest. Chain faces away. We can open it. We get some more demon titanite. It's funny that they're locking up demonic items in chests here in the City of Gods. It seems like the two are linked somehow in more ways than we know as of now. So after we pick up that demon titanite, we can take this staircase up and let's see where it goes. Looks like it just leads us behind this elevator structure. Could easily fall to our deaths here. We get an aerial view above that chest, and we can continue to skimp along here, or shimmy along here. And that's it. So, where do we go? If we look around here, you'll notice something, if you look closely enough. One of those windows is broken. It seems like we can get to there somehow. So you might be worried, you might be thinking, how can I get there? There's no pathway from here to there. Well, there is, but it's hidden in the environment. You've been subtly guided along this entire point to try to stick to these paths here that have these cobblestone flat pavement. And once we come down here, it's a bit of a stretch to realize that you have to go up here. I hate passing underneath these columns because they screw with the camera if you run too fast and move it around, and I don't want that to happen because I don't want to fall. And if we land on this railing or over here, which is a better option, we don't slide down to our deaths. So from in here, we can actually walk into this building through this broken window. And we can see something on the other side. Looks like a person wearing white robes holding a weapon. We have a ladder over here. And if we look up, there's another one of those people. She's definitely going to drop down and try to ambush us. We'll go ahead and kill them then. As you can see, their bodies do not disappear when they die. Which means that they're more like standard enemies. Probably just humans, but they're our size, and you know, actually it doesn't make too much sense for them to be humans given what we know. Are there small giants? I'm not sure. Maybe they are humans. We'll figure out and find out more about them a little bit later. Once we climb up here, we can see that there's an item dangling on that chandelier. And we're pretty high up. In front of us is quite the event. We've got 3 of these guys, and we've got to walk on these tiny rafters to get over to them. These are about as thin as the walkways in Sen's Fortress, that final walkway. The developers want to help us out a bit. They want to make it a little bit easier to traverse, so they place these corner pieces so we can traverse along a little bit more easily. We'll go ahead and two-hand our weapon here. And when we come over to here, it's like I was saying, we have these corner pieces and we send that body falling pretty far. And if we come over to here, we can actually hit this chain and knock that item down and pick it up maybe in the future. So that was just one enemy. Now we've got to deal with 2. And my hands are sweating. My palms are sweaty. I'm going to go ahead and run over to here. And this one's going to try to throw throwing knives at us. We're going to go ahead and poise through that attack. And poise through that as well. And down here we have an amazing chest. Also a chest over there. So we could go over there, but let's go ahead and try to walk over there instead and get that chest somehow and see if we can. Platforming challenges like these always get my heart racing because I'm not the best at little platforming tricks like these. It looks difficult. I don't know how we're going to get over there. But there's got to be a way. Maybe we can jump there somehow. Maybe. Before we head down, a couple things. Oh, let's walk over to here and binocular over here. But I just want to stand a little bit more on the corner because this is making me really nervous. I hate walkways like these. There's a large painting over here, which looks like a landscape with a bridge leading into some sort of tower. Over here is a series of large statues, with the largest one being in the middle. Oh, crap. Don't do that. There are little knights. They look a lot like the black knights that we fought so far, except their horns are a bit more curved. And they're guarding this statue with this amazing chest. Some people think that this deity and the deity that we have seen... look at that. There definitely is a way up there. We can see that there's a little staircase that leads up. Some people think that this deity and the deity that we've been seeing in the statues in the Undead Parish are the same person. But they clearly don't look very much alike. Some people also posit that maybe the baby is this person. But I also disagree with that. Let's go ahead and climb down this ladder here. I'm going to S this up. If we walk over to here, there is actually a staircase path. And we can go down to explore. And these guys drop throwing knives, which are very useful. You can farm them if you really need throwing knives as well. So we can come down here, but the fall is way too much. Right? We can't drop down here safely. What this vantage point allows us to see is that there's clearly something similar on the other side, right? There's definitely a way to get down here. And there's definitely a way to get to the other side and get to that chest. Every item that you see, there is a way to pick up. Otherwise, they'd be breaking their own design rules. Let's go ahead and traverse this white fog here. And once we go through that fog, we come out the other side of this building. We see that bridge right there. We went through a gauntlet and we came back here. This is really a really big point in good game design. I started to notice it first when I started to play Half-Life 2, and even when I load up Half-Life 1 and look at some of the way they've done their level design there. Instead of placing linear paths in front of you, a lot of times what'll happen is the level will be open to you, right? And in order to progress forward, you'll have to take some sort of detour, which will be an immense challenge. But once you get through that detour, you can come back through and you can come back through and unlock that shortcut. And Dark Souls uses this spiral-like design of going through a detour, going back, opening the shortcut, going through to the next detour, going back, opening the next shortcut to its advantage. You can see that over here there's a way to go down, and there's also a way to go up. Up top, there is a large wheel, which let's see if we can interact with. Because we still can't get to anywhere from this tower yet. Yeah, so there's a spoke right here. Once we do that, we open up this pathway to us to allow us to leave directly from where the gargoyle would be, cross those rafters, and come over to here where this staircase is. Oh, and there's a gargoyle down there. Hey, pal. Damn, we traded. And I get the Gargoyle's Halberd and the Gargoyle's Shield. So this isn't the Tail Halberd, this is like a legitimate Gargoyle Halberd. Let's go ahead and look at that. Halberd of the Gargoyle guarding the Bell of Awakening in the Undead Church. Perfectly standard bronze halberd without any special power. Okay. And let's look at the shield. Bronze shield of the Gargoyle guarding the Bell of Awakening, the Undead Church. The Gargoyle's skin is tough by itself, and perhaps the shield may have been a prop, for it's a rare example of a metal shield that does not reduce physical damage to 100%. Some gameplay and lore mixed into one description. Very nice, very saucy. So we're getting a vibe here that perhaps these items were meant to be rare drops from the gargoyles and the undead perish by the church, and weren't written to accommodate for the fact that you could encounter them in Anor Londo. So their placement in Anor Londo could have happened later on in the development cycle. Over here, there is a pathway that we could go through to take us to the bottom, right? So we could come down here and boom, we are now at the bottom of this painting place. So one of these people in white, one of the KKK, throws a knife at us. I'm going to try to lock onto them. We'll use our distance to our advantage and then come into here. You know what? I want to crowd control these guys. Let's go. You can see their throwing knives do quite a bit of damage. We're just going to cut through these people really quickly and turn around right there and thrust right in. I'm going to try to grab that item, but we might not be able to. Jab and thrust. We'll track 3 more of these people. You can see that they've placed these large columns in here, not just as an architectural motif, but also as a way to give us cover from the throwing knives. These enemies are the most agile we've fought in pretty much our entire game span, right? They're even more agile than the thieves. They run around, they bob and weave, and they're a lot of fun to fight. So since we knocked down that chandelier, we can get this sorcery. Great magic weapon. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and look at that. Great magic weapon. Sorcery, which improves upon magic weapon. High magic augmentation. Right weapon. At Vinheim Dragon School, only magic swordsmen on special orders are allowed to learn this spell, which grants powerful augmentation of various weapons. Not a lot of huge lore there. This is a huge painting. We can examine it. Contraption does not move. What the hell does that even mean? It's a painting. But our character knows that there's some sort of contraption in there. Let's go ahead and kill this person here. Over in this corner, there is an item on a corpse that has fallen down. Looks like all of his things have been attached to his soul. And we get the black iron set. And the black iron great shield. If we'll recall back to the last episode, the black iron set was the armor of Black Iron Tarkus. How did he meet his end here? Let's go ahead and take a look at his armor. Armor of Black Iron Tarkus, a knight known for his great strength, built of a special black iron and providing strong defense notably against fire, but so terribly heavy to be unwieldy to all but Tarkus himself. Black Iron Helm. Okay, same thing. Let's go ahead and look at the Tower Shield. Great Shield of the Mighty Knight Tarkus, built of special black iron and even heavier than Knight Berenice's Tower Shield. Especially resistant to fire attacks and effective for shield bashing. So, if we look at where his corpse is, it's been moved into this corner, right? That's where the developers have chosen to place it, right by this pot. What a lot of the people who try to research the lore of this game and put the pieces together, if you will, what they have come up with, their theory about how Tarkus met his demise, is that he tried to show that he was a chosen undead, and when he met with this rafter challenge to get to that elevator, he couldn't do it. He was too unwieldy, he couldn't get across it, and he met his demise. There's a couple things that I have to reconcile with that notion or that belief, and that's the fact that Black Iron Tarkus already made his way through Sen's Fortress, and if you remember the final trap of Sen's Fortress, that small bridge with the guillotines and the lightning serpent, that is no easy feat either. In fact, it was much more difficult for us than it was to cross over those rafters. Which means that perhaps there's more to this, right? Perhaps it wasn't just the fall, it wasn't just having to maneuver around. It'll lower. From up here, we can walk into somewhere. It looks like this is actually just where the paint, we can see those bodies, but there might be something below. It's also cool that this elevator allows you to access what would be considered one floor below at the same time. So once we hit our bottom, we have access to this place. Over here is a large statue of Gwyn. And a bonfire to boot. There's a lot of these little altars here, right? They look almost like gravestones, and if you look over here, there are actually knights. Did something happen to Gwyn's knights and Gwyn himself? It looks like it's a tomb. And here we have the Ring of the Sun's Firstborn. Boosts miracles. Lord Gwyn's firstborn, who inherited the sunlight, once wore this ancient ring. Boosts the strength of miracles. Lord Gwyn's firstborn was a god of war, but his foolishness led to the loss of the annals, and rescinding of his deific status. Today, even his name is not known. I'm going to go ahead and rest this bonfire and level up. So let's see. We could do with strength. I want to put some points into intelligence just so we can perhaps buy some spells from Master Logan. There's also a little... or not a hook, I'm sorry. We can pull that lever and something will happen, although we can't do it right now. With that, let's go ahead and reset this. This is a nice set piece as well in Anor Londo, this giant rotating elevator. And over here on this side is the Cathedral. Look at how big that is. Holy crap. That has got to be the biggest building we have ever seen in this game so far. Up there, there's a broken window, which looks like it could potentially lead down to that item. We can see the halberds of those giant knights sticking out from the top of the staircase there. Over there, we have a couple of messenger slash batwing demons that looks like it leads down to that tower, which looks like it leads up over there. Okay, so I guess let's head forward. There's another one of these levers, and you might be thinking, this is probably a way to call the spiral elevator up in case we push it down somewhere, right? And that would be some good intuition. So let's go ahead and walk on up. We've got our 5 flasks. We might want to go back to the bonfire. We might want to go back to the firekeeper and actually get 10 flasks instead of 5. Let's go ahead and do that, actually. You know what? Fuck it. Too much of a run. I can't be bothered. I forgot that there's another elevator we'd have to take. So, a nice touch here is that there's human-sized or small-sized steps here, and then there's big-sized steps here. Once we come up here, again, there are 2 giants, and we can aggro them one at a time. And this guy is an agile one. He moves back. Gonna go ahead and take care of this one. And get behind this one too. If I can. You can see that they'll only go so far and then back up. You can see that there's a gate here that's locked, and this guy is trying to walk towards us through it. Okay, well, let's try the front door. Nope. So it looks like we can't get in that way either. So let's try this way. If the left gate is locked and the front door is locked, then we should try the right side. From here we can see 2 of these messenger guys and 1 right there. We'll go ahead and take care of these messengers of the gods. Before we do that, though, I want to just take a look at them. They're very weird looking. I couldn't get a great look because they're being aggressive. And I just missed my attack. And they can launch lightning spears. I might want to back up and heal. I definitely want to back up and heal. Damn it. Oh! That was really fortunate for me. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get this guy to back up. Oh, I can't. Yeah, I haven't fought these guys in a long time, and their moveset is a learning experience right there. I used too many flasks, I would say, considering how easy they really are once you get used to them. But yeah, you can see that they have wings and that they use aerial attacks. They're almost like weaker versions of the gargoyles, except they rely more on thrusting attacks. They have a ranged counterpart. Over here we see a rafter with little railings that we can run down. We see another rafter we could go to there. Over here we see an enemy waiting to ambush us. 2 enemies waiting to ambush us. So as I got hit, I'm going to run back up here. And ooh, I almost got hit by that lightning. So we have very little lightning resistance. But if we come up to here, we can see one of them fell and will die. Because even though they have wings, just like the actual gargoyles, they can't actually do anything with them. They can't actually fly, and if so, if they go off the edge of the bounds there, they'll fall to their deaths. From here, we're being fired upon by... Whoa, those are some big arrows. Why don't we run up here, and you'll meet the famous archer brothers of Anor Londo. I love these guys. The first time you fight this or you try to take this challenge on in Anor Londo on your first playthrough, it is really tough. But it becomes a little bit easier once you know how to go about it. So you run up here, and this guy's in your way. But now that we've killed him, oh, we're gonna fall off. Welcome to Dark Souls. We killed him, but ended up screwing ourselves over. But that is the nature of this game, right? We weren't supposed to be able to pass that challenge on the first try. A new player should not be able to do that on their first try. If they can, they're very good. Applaud them. But that entire thing is meant to be a big meat grinder for new players, right? You run up there, you have to figure out how to dodge those arrows, and if you try to use a shield, you're just going to get knocked off the ledge, right? So there, you have to search for the right solution, and I'm showing it to you here, which is just trying to run past all of them. I'm going to go ahead and use a humanity here. And that marks our first death in Anor Londo. To the archers. I am okay with that. I expected them to get me at least once. And like I said, when we come down here, there is no elevator. So what we can do is pull this lever. We can hit the lever, and it'll bring the elevator down for us. Okay, what we'll go ahead and do is just raise the elevator. And we'll give this another go. This time, we can even see our souls from here. This time, I think what we'll do is we're going to run past the enemies and just try to take it on directly. You'll find that that's actually very easy to do. All we do is when we run up here, we run this way, and I eat my words. Go ahead and flask real quick. And we get stabbed. Luckily for us, they can't come down here. They can't all come down here. I'm gonna go ahead and Estus flask up. Roll through here. And I'm gonna run up here. And we almost got hit by that arrow. Oh crap. Definitely want to Estus up. And we're going to keep moving. Go up these rafters. And we'll fall again. God damn it. I love this. I love this ledge. Okay, third try. This time, let's not human up. And it's dead. Just pull this elevator. I'll see you guys back up on that ledge. Okay, guys. Let's try this shit. Okay, we have healed up, and we're not going to fall off the ledge this time. We'll continue walking along it, and we can see that there's a pathway below us, a little balcony. Now we can fall safely. Once we've done that, we can open up this wall of light. And all of a sudden, we're in a new area. That panic is beginning to set in. We've just taken on one of the toughest challenges of this playthrough, and now we don't even know if there's going to be a bonfire nearby. So as soon as we come to, we see a spiral staircase and 2 doors. Both of them are closed. If we pan our camera around this corner, we can see that there's an enemy over there. And hitting him with our... if we can actually hit him. Hitting him with our sword here does quite a bit of damage. Go ahead and trade with him. And we can try to go up the stairs, or we can open those doors. So what if we head up the stairs? We can see there's a pathway over there, and more to go up there. Okay, so before we go all the way up the stairs, what if we try those doors? This is part of what you might like to call the depth first solution, right? The depth first solution would be to go up and just go all the way forward and just pick one path and go down it until we hit a bonfire, right? What might be a better solution is to look at all of the pathways we have. We have 2 doors here and 2 doors on the other side, and see which one is the best route to take by just checking through all of them, right? So we can look in there, and we can peer our camera around the corner and see that there's a knight in there. And if we open this door here, we can peer our camera around, and we can see that... oh, well, let me not do that. Let me walk over to here and close this door. There's a bonfire. And there's our best friend, Solaire.
Oh, there you are. You've been quiet these days. Smooth summoning out there. Anytime you see my brilliantly shining signature, do not hesitate to call upon me. You've left me with quite an impression. I would relish a chance to assist you.
Ooh, you want to help out more, huh?
You really are fond of chatting with me, aren't you? If I didn't know better, I'd think you had feelings for me. Oh no, dear me, pretend you didn't hear that.
What? No. No way.
You really are fond of me. Oh no.
Okay, let's go ahead and use the humanity, and actually, let's use a twin and maybe kindle this bonfire. Where are you at, dog? There you are at. So we're going to reverse hollowing, and we are going to kindle this bonfire. So there we go, we're a human now. And we've just got to kindle, there we go. Now we have 10 flasks here. I'm also going to attune some of my magic here. I might take off this and try to put on... Let's see. A great magic weapon requires 15. Ooh, we are so close. Let's try to put on... magic weapon. And how about we put on... Great Chaos Fireball. Okay. With that, what if we use some souls to try to level up? Yes, and now we can level up. Let's just get our int up to 13. And, what if we were to take off this and just put the catalyst on? Or actually, yeah, let's take off this and put the catalyst on. If I could just find it. And I'm wondering, is there a use to using the tin banishment catalyst instead? So I'm gonna just hit Y here and check. Ah, so this is better almost in every single way. It just weighs more, which actually might be a little problem for us. I don't want a fat roll, right? And it looks like we're having the medium roll, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the Havel's ring back on. The Howl's Ring. There we go. And let's see, maybe Solaire's dialogue changes?
You really are one to give up.
Alright guys, we've done quite a lot in this episode, so I think I'm going to be cutting it here for now. On the next session, we are going to be exploring the Cathedral here, and seeing if we can find Lord Gwyn, and perhaps claim whatever this thing is that we have to claim, this Lord Vessel. With that, I guess I'm going to be signing off. This is Fahad Syed from Pixel Icons. Take care, guys. I'm going to go turn my AC on now.